Hey everyone. Um, so I've got some tea for you guys today. And this past month has actually been like really stressful for me. Um, and what I'm about to talk about, um, I've got a video for today and then I've got another one for tomorrow. Um, and I'm not going to be naming names. I'm gonna keep it confidential and stuff like that. But I do want to talk about something that has been going on, and just to I guess make people more aware. If you're going into the work field for the first time, or if you're going into a new career field for the first time, just like it's I don't want it to sound like it's drama or anything like that. It's just like this is something like very real that's happening to me right now. And it's not clickbait, not a joke. It um see, like, you can tell that I don't script my videos at all because I don't have like proper words to describe what's going on. Um, but I'm gonna just get into the meat of today's video. So I know I fidget a lot. It's like I feel like I've got little fuzzies on my face. Um, I was hired August 17th at Chipotle. And I love Chipotle. Their food is amazing. Great customer service. I only had like one issue with them one time, and that was like a couple years ago. Um, but I've been going to them ever since I was little. So, you know, I'm honestly surprised that it's Chipotle that I am the one that I'm having issues with. So, I was hired a month ago. It was August 17th. And well, at this point it's been over a month. So I went in for an interview and I was hired on the spot by the general manager. She was like, "I see all of these places that have help wanted signs, but no one's being hired, and that makes no sense to me. I feel like I'm trying to hire people left, right, and center." So she she really got my hopes up, and she seemed really, really friendly, really nice. But then after that, it took about 3 weeks to get the email for my onboarding. And as soon as I got it, immediately finished it. I completed my I-9 as fast as possible because I was really eager to start work. I've been, I've been where I am now for almost a year, and with the experience that I have, I cannot find work, and I don't know why that is. So, I was really eager, super stoked, wanting to start work, wanting to get back into a routine because I am going crazy. Just cabin fever, losing my mind. So she hires me. 3 weeks later, I get the email for the onboarding. I immediately completed that night. Like, as soon as I realized that I had the email, I was like, oh, I got to get this done. I'm not wasting any time. And then in September, so like at this point we're already getting into September, I've completed the I-9 and then I haven't heard anything. And then in September, it's already almost a month later, I finally get called in so that way I can get my ID card and social security. The word's always a tongue twister for me. But get my documentation scanned into the system. and I've got an account with them already, like all set up as like an employee account with like their workday or the equivalent of. And I go in. My mom was actually with me that day, so she saw them take my information back, and she knew that this was legit. And then the general manager comes back out and tells me, okay, you're all scanned into the system. I'm going to be looking at next week's schedule to see if I can fit you in for orientation. 2 weeks later, and I still hadn't started work. So at this point, I'm getting confused. But at the same time, I'm trying to rationalize it in my head that, I wasn't the only one hired. Another employee had told me, that he lost count of how many new hires she had, so he wasn't sure all of who was being brought on. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm not the only one. It's not just me. She's probably backed up. I'm trying to rationalize it. And I finally get like curious, but also like irritated at the same time. And I texted her, hey, I don't mean to seem like I'm bothering you too much, but I was wondering if maybe there was an opening for me to do my orientation. A week passes after that and nothing. She completely ghosted my text message. And then I get a letter in the mail saying that I was terminated. And I have the letter over on this end table, like the side table next to the sofa. I have the letter saying that I was terminated, even though I had no hours. So this past weekend, it's already over a month since I've been hired, and I had no hours and no communication. So this weekend, my mom and I were running errands and, getting some stuff done, and we happened to be in the shopping center where the Chipotle is. I just, spur of the moment, I need to go in here and ask questions and confront and get answers. Because at this point, I'm like, I'm applying elsewhere, I'm interviewing elsewhere, because this feels unprofessional to me. So if I had prepared for this, I actually would have brought in the letter to show this person. I didn't think that I was going to be there that day, so I didn't have the letter on me. But I walked to see her. She's working the line. They're a little busy, so I decided I'm going to wait. And she's clocking me every couple of minutes. She's clocking me. She sees that I'm there. And I had what I would assume was a neutral look on my face, but I probably looked pissed. I'm Hispanic, so we have resting bitch face like nobody's business. So she comes over to me, and she's got a smile on her face, and she's asking me, oh, it's good to see you. Are you here for your orientation? And I tell her, it's interesting that you're asking me that because I received a letter in the mail the other day that I had been terminated. And I'm just wondering what the heck is going on because it's been over a month since you hired me. And I've received no hours. I did everything I was asked to do, only to get a letter saying that I was fired. And she had a gobsmacked look on her face, and she proclaimed that she never sent a letter of termination. So she was confused by that. And part of me wants to think that, she was telling the truth. Another part of me was thinking, this girl is full of shit. Because at this point, I'm feeling like I've been getting jerked around all month. So she tells me, well, they probably terminated you, like corporate probably terminated you because I didn't give you hours soon enough. I had cut back on my own hours, so I wasn't here to train anyone. And that's why you didn't hear from me. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, that's making you sound even more sus because I texted you and you did not respond. So if you had cut down on your own hours and you were not available to train me or let alone anyone else, you should have reached out. You should have told me. I know I'm getting really heated about this right now, but it's like it's frustrating, and I'm pretty sure anyone watching this would be just as frustrated in this situation and just as confused and irritated and pissed off. So in my mind, I'm thinking if you were so busy, or if you had cut back on your own hours, as a manager, it is your duty to communicate to the new hires, I am not going to be available to train you. We are going to have to push back. Then I wouldn't be feeling like I'm getting jerked around. At least there would have been communication. But at that point, she's telling me what you can do is you can reapply online and then immediately contact me to let me know you did, and we can go through the process all over again, and I can get you in as soon as possible. At that point, I'm thinking to myself, whatever. It's not even worth it to me anymore at this point. So I just left. And I'm pretty sure she knew that I was getting upset. And I was even telling my aunt about this, which I actually have context about my aunt for this story. The reason why I was coming to this specific aunt. She was the manager, I believe the general manager at the very least. She was like high ranking. She was the manager of 13 different Corette women's clothing stores across the country my entire childhood. Like she's been retired for, I want to say maybe 8 to 10 years at this point. But my entire childhood, we only ever saw her on weekends because she was always traveling due to her job position. So I'm keeping in touch with her about all of this. She had such a high standing position in the workforce for a long time. So naturally, she would know practically all there is to know about being a good manager. And even she was like, this makes no sense. Why would they jerk you around like this? Why would they not communicate with you? Why would they send you a letter of termination when they literally gave you no hours? It was making no sense to any of us. To me, my mom, my dad, my friends, my aunts. Like, none of us can make any sense of this. I told my aunt what the manager had told me after I left the store. And even she was like, she's lying. She's lying to you. There's no way she didn't know. As a general manager, there's no way she didn't know or she was not aware of that letter of termination. So at this point, the icing on the cake, I get an email from this manager. I got an email yesterday, okay? It was dated October 2nd. The email came in at 4:16. I took a screenshot of it and I sent it to my aunt because this is just infuriating me even more. I took a screenshot of this email and I sent it to my aunt. It was sent, or it was at least received at 4:16. And the email stated, you have a schedule change for your shift at Chipotle for October 2nd, yesterday, the day I received the email, from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Meaning they were expecting me to show up for 2 hours from noon to 2, but I wasn't notified about it until 4:16 p.m., 2 hours later. Make it make sense. I'm so thoroughly confused and done at this point that I'm just going to keep applying elsewhere because this is so unprofessional. And I'm not saying that it's only Chipotle. This can literally happen everywhere. That's one of the reasons why I'm making this video, is because I want other people to be aware that this can happen. Literally, I applied and interviewed at Aldi after, like, in the middle of all of this, after I had been hired and started going through all of this bullshit. And I brought it up to them. This is what's going on with me right now, which is why I'm applying elsewhere and looking for work elsewhere, because I don't think that my current job is going to be a good fit for me. And After that, it was a group interview. It was me and three other people in the room. They were all just as shocked and confused. And when the general manager of the store asked if we had any questions for her, they actually, one person, the person sitting next to me actually had a really good question, which was, when we are hired, or if we are hired, how soon can we be expected to start? And for those of you entering the workforce, ask that question. Keep that in mind to avoid shit like this happening. Because if they say we should be expecting new hires by the end of the week, if a week passes and you haven't, and like, you've been hired, and a week passes and you haven't started yet or completed your I-9 or anything like that, pester them and ask, hey, what happened? Because yes, I reached out to the manager of Chipotle, but I don't think I reached out enough. I'm always worried that I'm going to annoy someone, and so I go out of my way to not annoy people, to where I feel like I miss a lot of opportunities. Guys, do not do this, okay? If you are expected to start a new job by a certain point and you haven't, reach out and pester them. Hey, remember me? What's going on? Where are my hours? Like, talk to me. Pester them, okay? Show that you are interested. Because I thought I was. I thought I was showing a lot of interest, especially my excitement over being hired after being without a job for almost a year now. And then this happened to me. So that's going to be part one of what's been going on with me lately. I'm going to be uploading part 2 tomorrow, guaranteed. Like no bullshit on this one, no cap. I'm going to be uploading tomorrow part 2 of what's been going on this past month or so. And tomorrow's video is actually going to probably be a little bit heavier, because it's going to, spoiler alert, it's going to go into why I just recently had to end a friendship. And names and locations are going to remain anonymous for confidentiality purposes. If this ex-friend is watching my channel, then you know who you are, you know what you did. But I will be going into that tomorrow. So I love you guys, and please stay safe, make good choices, and please, stay in communication with your jobs. Please. It is imperative. Otherwise, you're going to look like me. I don't think you want to look like this. All right. I love you guys, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Adios.